So good morning. Now the reason for the quick video today is just the Hustler 5 BTV that we've got on the front of the caravan there. Get a finger in, there we go, going up there. Now I've done a few videos on these, just on this one, just with the installation and stuff like that and the setup that I've got out the back with a minimal number of radials. And I've got a number of inquiries from people asking about how it actually performs without radials. Now at home, I would say very average. I've certainly noticed improvements as per my other videos in relation to putting down a few radials. Certainly noticed improvements. Not so much on the receive strength, although it would appear there have been improvements. I haven't done any real solid testing, but certainly on transmitting or people being able to hear me. Now, interestingly enough, last night when I arrived, I set it up, quick smart, and it still needs a lot of work. It will get you in close. I actually made a quick contact with Numia.
CRZ, Foxtrot, Kilowatt 4, Romeo Delta. Foxtrot, Kilowatt 4, Romeo Delta from New Caledonia calling, please, CRZ.
VK2, Mike, Romeo, X-ray.
Victor Kilo 2, Mexico, Radio X-ray, is correct for our call?
Roger, roger. VK2, Mike, Romeo, X-ray. Thanks very much for taking the call. Name here is Brett, Bravo, Romeo, Echo, Tango, Tango. And you're a lovely signal, a 5-9 into Newcastle, Australia. Newcastle, Australia. Over, over.
Okay, Victor Kilo 2, Mexico, Radio X-ray. Foxtrot, Kilowatt 4, Romeo Delta. I report on the 5x5. 55 from Numia. No problem. My name is Yves, Yankee, Victor, Echo, Sierra, the Numia capital city of New Caledonia. No problem. 7-3 for you, and thank you for the call. And a good DX for you and a good weekend. Victor Kilo 2, Mexico, Radio X-ray. Foxtrot, Kilowatt 4, Romeo Delta. 7-3.
Thanks very much for the contact, Dave. It's lovely to talk to you. 7-3. All the best.
CQ40, Foxtrot, Kilowatt 4, Romeo Delta.
So I put some mileage up there somewhere on the screen so you can see how far that was, but that was a pretty good contact, and he got me to 5 and 5. So what I've got here is just the old jockey wheel holder. It's one of those ones that you used to undo and take the whole jockey wheel off and then put it back on, and that's been changed for one of those tilt ones that tilts up, tilts back down. Much handier, less messing about, although that does take up a lot of space, and I can't actually get this one off, so I figured I might as well use it. It does come in handy for the table that's inside the caravan. Will come out and mount this and give me an outside table, or I can stick a pole through it and mount the antenna on it. Now this is probably only about, I don't know, it's maybe a little over an inch or something like that, so I need a larger diameter pipe. I've had to bang this one in, but it's still not real rigid, because what I wanted to do was actually try putting this at the top of that pole and just get a bit of height and get that antenna pretty much over the height of the caravan and away from the, the aluminium cladding and all that sort of stuff. Now you can see that this pole does actually go a fair way up this section here, so I expected a lot of interference, but interestingly enough, it wasn't too bad. And it chinned up pretty well, or pretty quickly on 40 and 20. On 80 it takes a little bit, but it's very narrow banded, and because I've had it apart and put it back together, it may have actually put the tuning out and on where I had it when I had it at home. So as you can see from there, I've got no radials on it. It's just mounted to the pole, which is stuck into the ground. I guess maybe that works as part of a counterpoise, if you will. And you can see the height above the van. We'll go back and get a picture of that. And as far as coax, I just grabbed what I had left on the spool there. It's just a RG58, cut it on the end, stuck a plug on the other end and ran into the caravan, so that way I'm not having to cut up that. I only need a short length to go into the van, but I didn't want to cut that up and make it a shorter length in case I need it as a fuller length. And obviously I've got a nice choke there in that spool, so that seems to be working well. And the antenna itself, I think, is somewhere around 24 foot. Don't quote me on that, I can't remember. So overall, that's probably got to be about 34 foot high, I guess. The top of the van. And thus far, working pretty well. Now this is one of my usual camping spots. Hopefully you can hear me with the wind. This is one of my usual camping spots. And what I would do, I'm not sure whether I've got a video on this before, is just run the coax out the corner of the van there. And then take it up into one of these trees up here. Just do an end fed. And that works pretty well. But I wanted to have a look and just see what other options were available to me. And I looked at that vertical in the backyard and thought, you know what, I'm going to have a crack at that. Somebody else did on one of the videos send me a reply, and I'll post his details up somewhere on the screen here with his call sign, and sent me some pictures on basically what he'd done here. His was a little better than mine at the moment, but this is just I guess a proof of concept. It's what I had laying around, and thus far it works pretty well. It's certainly picking up the signals, and given the opportunity tonight, I am away with a group for a birthday, so I can't be too antisocial. As we all know, with the radio, you'd like to go and play radio, but sometimes you've got to stick with the group and hang out. So maybe we'll get the opportunity later on tonight. I would like to check it on some other bands. Certainly performing on 40, and we'll see if we get a chance later on tonight to check the other bands. Like certainly 80 I'm interested in, and it'd be nice if we get something coming through on 10 during the morning, so that'd be great.
See you later. And over to you, Robert, VK7VZ, K7GI. Yeah, well, I'll say, you were 20 dB overnight, and it's pretty good. I'd say it's a good S unit and a half, 2 S units, with the vertical being the favorite. Go ahead. And I got somebody who said New Zealand. Who is the news station from Zulu?
Zulu Lima 3, Juliet Alpha Sierra, Jason in Christchurch, New Zealand, over.
Okay. That would be Jason, I believe. It's been a while. Not very strong tonight, though. I don't think we have much of a path, Jason. But anyway, I'll give you a quick signal report. Let me just kick it back to you real quick. ZL3JAS, C7GI.
Yeah, 7GI, ZL3JAS. I'm using a rubbishy dipole at the moment. Really need a better antenna for this.
That's with little bits of green. And it's all good. VK7NWT, VK3VCR. Yeah, VK7NWT. Very, very cool. That's all good. Nice and, yeah, well, I'm breaking talking about you, so I'll go back to me now, Gary. You mate, super do, mate. The day you stop learning something every day, you won't be here. Tomorrow. You're quite right there, Peter. You're quite right.
Okay, that's it guys. So that's the Hustler 5 BTV. No radials, out camping, and yeah, pretty happy with that.